Welcome to the Lighthouse. So for today's meditation, we're going to focus on developing our hidden greatness. And this business, this process, this endeavor of developing our hidden greatness, it begins to arise when we say yes to developing our beginner's mind. Just simply that, developing our beginner's mind, which is a very organic arising within the body, within the mind, within the cell structure, having a willingness to begin and begin again and begin again and again and again, and to do it from a place that is fresh and spontaneous and impulsed by our inner child. It's my belief that our hidden greatness doesn't necessarily always arise from the cultivation and the accumulation of textbook knowledge. It's an experiential wisdom that comes from a ripening with and an alignment with the elemental, instinctual, enduring self with a capital S. So this beginner's mind, in my learnings in Andes Mountains, there's a lot of teachings that have to do with what they call like a spiritual decapitation, which I know sounds totally gruesome, right? The idea of a spiritual decapitation, and what that's pointing to is that we need to develop a courageousness in our relationship with our practice, so that we can completely lose our minds in the practice. So let today's breathwork practice help you to lose your mind, to foster a decapitation, to let the void in, and to let the entirety of your being relax into wholeness. When we let the void in, we can relax into wholeness. So in all of this week's practices, we've been focusing on feeding the pranic body. So we have this molecular, earthy, substantive body that is our legs and our arms and our head and so forth. And we have an energetic body, and we have multiple bodies. But this week we've been really tuning into the pranic body, and that's where the imprint, that's where the code of your longevity and your health and your vitality exists. And I'm repeating myself, I've certainly said this before in this week's teachings, but it's said that from that vantage point, from the lens of the pranic body, that we're not here for a certain number of years, we're here for a certain number of breaths. And so during this COVID-19 time, when many of us are spending hours and hours a day living behind a mask, there is a phenomenon of breathlessness. And so I want to really use today's work to oxygenate, to pranify the pranic body, which is right back here behind your heart center, to oxygenate and pranify that whole energy field that's like a hammock of loving kindness. It is a hammock of metta that is always there wanting to hold you and support you and guide you and give you life and elevate the life that is already living inside of you. So get really comfortable. Maybe you're in a chair, maybe I'm seated on a block. I've laid down a couple of tracks for our meditations today. So I'll be singing for us, but I'm streaming it in. So that way I can be doing these breath technologies with you. And these breath technologies, they are a labor of love. I've been saying that a lot this week. We are in transition as a species right now. We are going through a collective dark night of the soul, if you will. We are birthing a new we, more than we ever have before. All the shadows are coming into the light, and the water So even if you find that the breath work is hard, stay the course, stay in it, and you will feel markedly different on the other side of the journey. So bear with me here. So we're going to start by charging this pranic body. I'll turn on the music here in a second, but I want to give you the technique. You're going to press your index, middle, ring, and pinky fingers into the very top of the palm, which can feel like a little bit of a challenge to create that curl, but get in there as effectively and as completely as you can. And then we're going to lift the arms up and sit up nice and straight and have a long, strong V, very strong angles. All of this work that I share in integrative practices, it is an art and a science. It is a science of angles and triangles. And so for today's work, we're going to be doing a lot of bifurcating of these angles. We're going to be splitting the atoms of our attachments and our beliefs and our concepts so that we can have that decapitation, so that we can enter the void space, the insight dimension of beginner's mind. Beginner's mind. So you're going to take the arms up, you're going to look at the tip of the nose, and you're going to do a breath of fire. This is one of the most effective, immediate ways of oxygenating and pranifying your pranic body. Again, the area is behind the heart center, so it's going to sound like this. Looking at the tip of the nose. Keep your shoulders relaxed, keep your spine really long. Okay, so I'm going to turn on a song for us, and we'll get started. Oh no, that is not the one that I wanted to play. Sorry. What is? It's having a little fickle DJ moment there. I laid down a few tracks and I think I put them in a little bit of a disorganized order. Anyway, let's get started. Energizing the pranic body. Let it be an energy multiplier, labor of love. Supreme simplicity. Even if I stop and speak to you, stay the course, stay with the breath, stay in the angles and in the triangles, split the atoms, access the space. Every time you exhale, feel the whole shield, the whole radiant shield of your belly, the front gate of your body, pulling back and lifting up. Every time you exhale, use your abdomen to assist. Letting the supreme simplicity bathe your entire being. Keep up. It will keep you up. Keep up. Keep up. Keep up. Keep lifting the onto your lap. And have a moment of just simply sitting there. Inhale, long, strong, deep, wholehearted breath into the back of your kidneys. Unobstructed flow of breath and optimism, unifying with the wisdom of the field. Exhaling into emptiness. So this next sequence of angles that we'll be creating and breathing into and with, this is the particular configuration that has to do with developing our hidden greatness. So very oftentimes, and almost all the time, it is oneself who is responsible for covering one's greatness up. And again, this majesty, this magnificence, this sophistication, this sublime beingness, it does not and never will come from the accumulation of external, textbook knowledge or something that someone else has told you or some mastery of some external condition. It's always a ripening, a maturation from the inside of our inside, from below the below, from the substratum, from the silt of the riverbed deep, the deep mineralization that is the fact that we know so much more than we know that we know. So these next few moments have to do with getting out of our own way and then letting go entirely because we're trusting the process and feeling the deep chords of freedom and flow that we can yield into as the fruit of that trust. So we're going to begin by bringing the right hand in front, the right hand and forearm in front of the body, and just touch the bottom of the chin and then drop it down by about an inch. So you're going to line the center point of the bottom of the chin up with this bone of the wrist bone. And the tip of your middle finger is going to plug in, it's bifurcating the angle of the left arm. So your fingers are long and strong and your fingers are all fused together. Okay, so we've got these two separate angles, which is a representation in the mandala, in the template of the neural networks. It is a representation of, the ability to create change head on, to stare our own attachments or to stare some perceived opponent square in the eye until all that remains is loving awareness, until all that remains is the radiance of undefended presence, until all that remains is love, revolutionary love. Okay, so we're going to create this, and you're going to look at the tip of the nose, you're going to create a circle mouth, and you're going to pranify the pranic body. Inhale through the open mouth, pause substantially, and then exhale through the open mouth. As you exhale, in the same way that we did in the last exercise, pull your abdominal wall back and up, okay? So, and I'm going to do the meditation with you. So right forearm out in front. Pausing and exhaling. Pull the abdominal wall back. Squeeze at the perineum and the pelvic floor. Lift the perineum up to the navel, back to the spine, up to the diaphragm, up to the roof of the mouth, to the crown of the head, which is now splitting off and flying up to the infinite. And then inhaling again. Bathing your entire being in a supreme simplicity, naked awareness. Press the right middle finger into the heart of the left palm. hidden conductor, the superconductor, in the way that you're moving the prana, the chi, the life force energy up and down and in and out of your body. Work with the angles, work with the triangles. Let it be elemental, bathing your entire being in a supreme simplicity, an organic innocence. Exhale entirely, relax the mudra, and then switch the arms. So the left forearm will hover under the chin. Align the center point of the bottom of the chin up with the bone of the wrist. Fingers are long and conjoined. Press the middle finger of your left hand into the heart of the right palm. Create the two angles. Set the gaze at the tip of the nose. Circle mouth. Inhale. Into the pranic body, into the hammock of energy that's holding your back body. It's always there, 100% available to tune in. Breathing into that space. You are that. That is you. Exhaling out of the open mouth. At the completion of the out breath, squeeze at the perineum. Lift the energy up to the ball of the belly. Pull it back towards the spine, up towards the bottom of the heart. Up to the throat, to the roof of the mouth, to the crown of the head, off with the crown of the head, and opening into the void. A wave of beauty and bliss on that next inhalation. Sundalahari. Recognize that you're moving the needle, friends. You're moving the needle. This is so necessary right now. Every time you exhale, feel a tremendous spaciousness, a sense of trust, a willingness, at least in this moment, to let everything go. Let it all go. Laboring for love, revolutionary love. Let your body become all eyes, seeing with 10,000 eyes. Relax the mudra. So this meditation of developing our hidden greatness, it has a couple of parts. So the second part, we'll go into it right away. You're going to press your thumbs and really kind of bend, if you can in your anatomy, bend the thumb back enough so that you're pressing the whole of the oval pad of the thumb onto both sides of the brow points there at the third eye center. And then the hands will come together, and you're going to work with two angles. It's going to be dynamized. You'll work with this angle, and then you'll work with this angle. And you'll find your pace, whatever flow feels appropriate for you and your experience in the meditation. You're going to close and then open. And as you're opening, feel the openness of the heart. So we're going to be working with a Bhastrika breath. Okay, so it's very related to the breath of fire. So it's going to look and sound like this. Okay, and so you're bifurcating the angles, you're splitting the atoms of everything that is coming up within your emotional body, of everything that's coming up in your pre-structural dream time body, of everything that's coming up in the crust of your cultural body, and of everything that's coming up to be aligned with in your evolutional body, okay? The part of you that is getting ready to emerge as who you are becoming. So many different levels of engagement when we practice, when we meditate. We really are integrating with the entirety of existence. We are endeavoring into the whole. So find the mudra, and I'm going to do it with you. I'm just going to turn on our song. And if you need to jump off because of the time, that's okay. Otherwise, stay in the meditation. We're here for about 12 minutes in this kriya. Okay? Set the gaze at the tip of the nose. Don't forget to utilize your pelvic floor. Don't forget to bring enough inhalation in so that you don't feel lightheaded. Let it challenge you all the way down to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. Willing to lose your mind in it. Bring your hands to your heart, please. And have a look if you are not eyes open. Go ahead and open them. You're going to take the arms up and then bring them out to the side, creating new angles, and then tap the hard shell, crack the nuts so that the hatching can occur. Inhale and then exhale. Stay in this. Eyes are set in the tip of the nose.
hands together. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, what it is that you are seeking is seeking you. When we get out of our own way, we realize just how deeply guided and supported we are in all the levels of need. Wishing you a most remarkable day. Sat Nam.